afraid to do so, to collaborate with the present-day government. As I have said, we will be the first ones to support those policies that goes for any government in any day, no matter who is in charge. Say in an unlikely situation, which will never happen. It will never happen. In an unlikely situation, you wake up with this young man, as president. What we are saying is that as long as he's in occupation of the office of the president, we will respect him. We will call him president. We will salute him. That is why we are doing what we are doing. We respect the president of the country as the head of state, as the leader of the country. We salute him. If the motorcade arrives here, I will salute him. I'll be the first to salute him. I'm the president of EFF, I'm not the president of Zimbabwe. To conclude, I want to make this clear that the EFF is a patriotic national party with the interest of all Zimbabweans of whatever political affiliation at heart. But you must understand that we will not accept those who are very much happy, who are very much pro-sanctions. A number of you must have heard, or you must know my position that EFF, not only EFF Zimbabwe, EFF South Africa, EFF across Africa, we do not support sanctions. We want sanctions to be lifted against our country. We are very clear that those who are very much happy to support sanctions will never be our friends. As Zimbabwean come first before politics in our values. It does not matter if a person supports other opposition parties or the ruling party. Democracy is about having a diversity of opinion and ideas. So what I'm simply saying is that even though those ones that we know, they support other things, they are pro-sanction, we respect them. Even those who are calling for the division of the country, the secessionists, the separatists, the MRP, we respect them. But we don't agree with them. Zimbabwe is one. Zimbabwe has got one president, one country, one flag. We are one people. We are Africans. We are in fact calling for a borderless Africa. When I see an African, regardless whether you're Ndebele, Shona, Kalanga, Tonga, whoever you are my brother. I don't care what language you speak. So EFF stands for that. So it doesn't matter who you are. So EFF Zimbabwe upholds and respect the office of the state. We respect the office of the president, but that does not necessarily translate into being part of the ruling party. The fact that we don't denigrate the president, the fact that we respect the high office of the president, the fact that we are calling against, we are calling for the lifting of sanctions against our country, the fact that we will not be confused for any agent of any imperialism. We are very clear. We are anti-capitalist. We are a socialist revolutionary movement across Africa that is in support of 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars, including expropriation of land without compensation. In fact, we are saying to the government, all those other farms that are still remaining in the hands of the few must be expropriated without any delay, without compensation, and no one should be compensated, because who compensated our ancestors? Who compensated our ancestors when the chickens, when the cows, when their wives were taken? Who compensated them? In fact, we must be compensated for those who were tampering with our soils. In fact, some of them were mining in those farms. They were not doing farming. We therefore call on all Zimbabweans. So let me take this again. We will be the first ones to acknowledge that Any progressive policies coming from any political party will acknowledge that, but will disagree with those who are supporting sanctions. We are not sparing in our criticism for the government, but we do so constructively, we do so respectfully, knowing very well that the person who is in occupation of the office of the president is the head of state, is the head of government. We therefore call on all Zimbabweans, activists, workers, community workers, including journalists and other Africans in Zimbabwe to join the EFF, the Economic Emancipation Movement, not only in Zimbabwe, but in South Africa, in Namibia, in Zambia, in Malawi, in Liberia, in Nigeria, Ghana, Swaziland, Lesotho, and so on. We are very clear on the borderless Africa. The last thing that I'll say, Mr. Moderator, before I finish, is that EFF is open to every African, regardless of who you are. If you are in South Africa, you can practically join the EFF. If you're in Zimbabwe, if you're an African, you can join the EFF. We are for borderless Africa. You will realize that I said that I'm very happy that Zimbabwe won the presidency of Pan-African Parliament. That parliament was becoming a circus until the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Malema, intervened to bring sense. If you listen to the leaders across Africa, they are talking sense now. They are talking about borderless Africa. They are talking about increased trade among ourselves as Africans. We must control the economy of Africa. We must have one currency as Africa. We must have one presidency. We must have a borderless Africa. Look at China, 1.3 billion people with one president. Why can't we do that? Why do we need these 55 countries? I know that the leaders of those 55 countries will not let go. But let me tell you, the EFF is going to unite this continent whether the imperialist forces like it or not. The EFF is going to ensure that we have decolonized free quality education across Africa. Why do you have your children learning mathematics in English? Why can't they learn mathematics in Shona or in Ndibali? Why do you have to have your child putting so much effort to learn English so as to learn mathematics? In China, they don't do that. They go straight to the subjects. They learn mathematics. They are all over the world. Look at all the top CEOs of big companies across the world. They are from either China or from other Asian countries. They don't even bother to speak English, but they learn science, they learn mathematics. So let us be open. Let us wake up. The final thing is that I want to make this call, corporate moderator. I hope the